Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinion as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That is where I dive deeper into all these different topics and subjects, looking for investment opportunities and sharing them with everyone in the community. I'm also releasing a midweek update late tonight, Tuesday, for Wednesday, where I share my opinions across a bunch of different sectors for individual companies and what I am doing. If that interests you, definitely sign up. We've got special as the coupon code. You get 50% off the first month only on the monthly membership, and a larger discount on the yearly. And if you want to switch from a monthly to a yearly, you can do that using this special coupon code for further savings. Let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on, and we're starting with the DXY. We've got a stronger dollar, DXY. Does look like we're going to try to work our way on up a little bit here. This could be considered a bullish piercing, where we open price below it and close above the 50th percentile. If you zoom in, it's more or less a downward breakout, and we're starting to come on up. So this is a double bottom. That is that wick and the reversal and the move higher. So we could start to see a little bit of strength in the dollar to try to work its way on up. We'll have to see what follow through we get with these candlesticks. Is it just going to roll back over up here or what? So we need to watch that. We did see stronger yields, specifically on the 2-year yield, coming up quite strongly today, up 1.43%. We are underneath some resistance that we have not gotten through yet. And this here still looks like a falling wedge to me where this can go higher. And that's what we got today. We've got the 10-year down slightly, and that still looks good because we're sitting on top of all of this support. And then we've got the big bullish engulfing candlestick that looks good to go higher. We also have the 30-year that also looks good to go higher, in my opinion. We were down today 0.45, but this still looks good to go on up, and we're hitting some resistance through there. Not a ton of selling pressure up here, and we got the big greens pushing us higher. TLT, bond price is up slightly, but the momentum still to the downside. So that still looks like it's trying to knock on doors to the downside here, trying to break lower. The 2 and the 10, we are coming up today, and we're still holding on in this general area. We could get a double bottom here. If this drops lower, if we start to really move lower, what that indicates is the uninversion of the yield curve. It was starting to uninvert here, and we'll see what happens. But today it was a stick save, and it's holding on so far. If we come back up and the yield curve inverts, that's that inflation in the system. TYX-TNX ratio, we are down today a little bit with a stronger dollar, so it's going to put a little bit of pressure on gold to the downside, a little bit of a headwind. Gold down $37 an ounce, could be a reversal candlestick where maybe we could go in either direction. Now, we've got a lot of upside momentum on the longer time frames here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm not doing anything with the gold that I own. I'm staying long. If it consolidates and goes sideways or comes down, whatever it does, I think it's just a small consolidation in a big upward move. Silver down slightly. Now, the only thing that worries me here, there's a little bit of worry here just in the short term. Just in the short term. So we've got this support line, which then becomes resistance. We blew through this with some pretty strong selling pressure. We had an upward move in small candlesticks. In my opinion, there's a high likelihood that we roll over and come back maybe to this area down here. Very well could be the case. We could even go lower than that, potentially, in the short term. That's still in play. It's still a possibility. If it doesn't get down there, I'm not selling any of my stake. I'm just riding this thing. But whenever you see these large candlesticks like this coming down, and then the smalls coming up underneath resistance, that has the likelihood of rolling over. We've got that across a lot of different sectors. We can see that also in platinum, and it's starting to already roll over. I think silver is going to follow this. There's palladium, strong selling pressure. I think we're going to do a couple of bounces here before moving higher. So patience. XAU to gold ratio down slightly today, and still at ridiculously cheap levels for gold and silver mining companies in relationship to gold. GDX down 2.77%, getting a little bit more selling pressure here up here. We've got GDXJ down 3.8 and SILJ down 3.2. Haven't broken out through this resistance area up here that we're pulling on back. But the miners may be sniffing out maybe a move lower before silver pulls back a little bit. So I'm in the camp in the short term that we could still see a little bit of downside here in the very short term. I'm still incredibly bullish on the longer, bigger picture view for silver and the mining companies. Crude oil up 1.83%. Keep in mind that we got that large selling pressure move, and we haven't really killed it yet. So this could be something that comes back and does another double bottom, or maybe we still have a little bit of downside left. I'm leaving that on the table as a possibility. We are underneath resistance still too, so if you look, your resistance here. Now, the weird thing is we are putting a pretty big wick at the bottom here. So that is buying pressure coming and pushing this higher. But you can see we don't have a ton of follow through yet. That's what we're looking for. Are we going to get the follow through to the upside? Or are we going to get a reversal candlestick like a big bearish engulfing, which means we could potentially head lower? That is what I'm looking for. What I don't like about the setup at the exact moment is whenever you get these large down candlesticks and you get the small reds, that means that we could still have some downside left before heading higher. TTF gas down 4%. That is looking pretty bearish that we could continue lower in nat gas. Natural gas in America moving sideways today, up 0.23%, but the momentum is still to the downside for American natural gas. Boy, XOP, yeah, you know me, up 2.5%. But again, I'd like to see some big green candlesticks start pushing us higher here. I don't see that yet. So we've got the big surge lower. We've got the big reversal candlestick here. And then we're waiting for what direction are we going to go next. We're kind of coming up in this consolidation. Are we going to break higher? Or is it going to fail and break lower, which is a continuation pattern to the downside? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out. OIH up slightly, and that's doing the same thing as XOP. We entered lower, we're consolidating here, and we need to figure out which direction we want to go. Newcastle coal futures down 3%, and we're at that support area. We could see further downside if this continues the way it is. So, downside momentum. We've got Sprott Physical Uranium Trust up almost about 1%. It's trying to break out. We'll see if we get this breakout and move higher for Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Still looks good. Bullish engulfing with small selling pressure behind it. This looks a little bit better set up than oil and nat gas. Uranium futures are up slightly. This is looking like it's trying to turn and move higher, so that looks good. URA up about 1%, and this is still looking very bullish because we don't have a ton of selling pressure and we came up off this, so that still looks good to go higher. URNM, same setup, and URNJ, very similar setup. I'd like to see some big greens show up here soon. It's possible we get a double bottom and we kind of bottom somewhere in this range, wherever this thing's going to be. It could be a higher low. It doesn't have to be a perfect double bottom. It could be anywhere in that kind of box here. Nickel up 0.4%, looking a little bit better, trying to work its way on up. We still have a lot of downside momentum that we need to maybe work off like that. Copper up 2.5%. That's looking a lot better. But again, we're next to these large selling pressure candlesticks. I hate being next to these things. I hate it. I've been burned so many times in history trying to buy next to these things where it just rolls back on over. But we had a pretty strong candlestick today. So again, this is also sitting on top of this support area. So it looks good. It doesn't look bad. We've got COPX up 2.6% as well. That's looking better. Bigger picture view, support. That looks good to go higher, not lower. Lithium up 1.34. This looks like it's trying to bottom and work its way on up. Looks pretty solid. REMX also up 1%, looking okay. Kind of come up into this flag pattern. That's looking pretty good. Iron ore moving sideways underneath. I drew this in there. You could probably draw it a little bit differently. Probably drew it on a different time frame. Probably something like that. We'll chop it sideways. Aluminum, it's in a bearish formation, bear flag pattern that could potentially end up moving lower for a period of time. Baltic Dry Index up slightly, but the momentum is still to the downside. It's trying to turn it. It hasn't turned it yet. Emerging markets up 1.5%. It's back at resistance and underneath resistance at this current time. We don't have strong moves higher. We kind of dropped off the cliff, came back up struggling. This could very well roll over and maybe do a double bottom. So a lot of these double bottoms are potentially on the table for a lot of different sectors. Moo down or up 2%. That looks good. Breaking out of a little flag pattern there or channel. Carry up 3.2%. That's good. We want to get these elongated green candlesticks, getting some buying pressure in here to show us that the buyers are being serious and stepping back in. XHB getting a pretty good candlestick here. That's pretty good. That's looking pretty dang good here. We'll see if we can get some upside momentum here, and I'll extend this thing down like that. So that looks good. TAN up 4.7, looking better. This thing, I'm not going to own TAN, but Russell 2000 up 2.7%, looking a little bit better. We need to get some more upside momentum being generated. We're within the pattern here. S&P 500 up 2.5%. Pretty big day today. Pretty big day. But again, we've got a lot of overhead resistance. Here. I mean, that's all resistance up there. So we gotta get moving. And then the Nasdaq up 2.7%. But again, this is underneath resistance. So the downtrend is still intact. That way. On the medium term. Short term, it's good. Medium term, downside. And longer term, downside. SMCI up 3.6%. Looks like it's trying to put in kind of like a double bottom there. I'll leave that potentially there. NVIDIA up 2%, but the downtrend is still intact. Extend that outward. Bitcoin looking strong here, looking very strong. In fact, we're gonna try to break through that resistance level, see if we can get through that. But it's got a lot of momentum here. It looks pretty strong. Ethereum also moving higher, and this looks good to go higher. You can say that this is resistance coming through there, and we broke through it today with a pretty strong buying pressure candlestick. Looking good. Looks like it's trying to turn the corner and move on up. What we want to see next is small selling pressure, like small little down days here in this box, and then another big green candlestick showing up. MicroStrategy up 8%, and that's moving with Bitcoin, so that looks good. The VIX is pulling on back, and that this is going to be the big question mark. Is this just a pullback in an uptrend where we've broken the downtrend here and then we keep trending higher? That would be increased volatility if that does occur. A lot of the times when we get reduced volatility, it just goes sideways in these big kind of blocks there, and then you get these scares that occur over time. Fear in the market. And this is a good gauge for fear in the market here. Usually they don't spike and stay up here very long. So usually a good opportunity for, depending on what you're looking at, could be when there's a lot of fear in the market, like in those areas up there. But we could do something like that possible. And that's all I've got for today, guys. So give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Special coupon code. I'll release that midweek update later tonight. And that's all I've got for today, guys. So we'll catch you guys later. This is Finding Value.